Lagosians refuse
because
to
they
pay.
upgraded.
Yes.
You know why it's always easy for people? The government, listen, government need to learn to carry the people along. You don't just wake up overnight
See,
and make policy.
if you see one of the
You
things
need
that
to
I
invite
kept-
people,
what-
explain the reason
Why do you want to use?
what
Why
they
do
start-
you want to use a service and you don't want to pay
See,
for
let
it?
me tell you something. Listen, I remember my husband told me something one day. He said when he joined Lagos State government and then he wanted to work with Lagos State government, there was something he told them he was going to do. We're going to make the money for you and we're going to make it visibly clear on how to spend this money. And if you remember then when my husband was working with Lagos State, that was when them Funke Akindele, they paid them to be doing advert for tax and all of that. Listen, you see the society where we are today. It's a society where we need to carry ourselves along because abroad, for example, they know that automatically these things would have been, there will be a lot of advocacies, awarenesses and all of that. But here in Nigeria, the government will just sit down. Go to their pages, their plenary pages. Do you see them even talking about anything there? People don't know. So there's a disparity between the citizens and the government. Government is doing their own. Don't worry. They will adjust. Just put the law. They will adjust over time. It doesn't work out that way. You need to make people understand that technology has come. Upgrading has come. We are going to start to pay water bills, but this water bill is the same thing like this and this. Explain. You are nurturing. You have to continue. It's a continuous educational system.
No, they're too busy to do that.
Eh?
I said they're too engrossed with.
They are too
looking at
engrossed to do.
everything.
Let me shock you now. Listen, Shay, we are rounding up now. During election, I passed by Third Mainland Bridge several times. And then I saw this round, I don't know if you saw it, this roundish thing, campaign for Jide Sanwo-Olu. They were using it to campaign for Jide Sanwo-Olu. In the dark, it shows light. Right? During the dark, it shows light. You see this? I don't know if anybody saw it. You saw it. Thank God you saw it. And one day I said to Baba Shaba, I said, after you see, they will say tone zone is too much. Say after election now, they will not leave this thing here and be putting phone number. If your girl is touched, if you beat you, call this number. Can't they use that same thing? Then politicians will now come and tell you that it's some people that contributed the money. They supported them. So people can support your campaign, but they cannot support your performance and your advocacy. Because obviously, ẹni tó bá yín hang roundabout yẹn sí Third Mainland Bridge, ó léye tẹ́ padà kó fún o. So if truly you want to support a government, you should know that this thing can be recycled. You go to New York, you go to the UK, you see billboards. They have been there for the past 20 years. Same information, changing the writing, saying the same thing, because you need to continuously stamp these informations on the face of citizens. I remember during International Women's Day, when I was talking to all the women, plus senator's wife, plus governor's wife, I accused them. I said, you people call yourself mothers. And you are in government with your husbands and your husbands are failing.
And you cannot say anything.
Respect to Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu. She made a statement that day. She said, Tom has asked us the question, where are the likes of Efun Sheton and Niwura in our society today? Where are the likes of Olufumila or Ransom Kuti? She said it, and that was the day I forgave that woman. That so if Tom can say this as a mother, we have no excuse. If you see the way where they can't go call Obasakom, if you see the way where they bundle me, enter State House, your team say, I steal government money. They now say, Susan,
Yes, you follow.
you was there.
Yes, I was
You
there.
were there too.
Yes, I was.
You are there.
I was there.
They now say, now today I go collect office. Now, the government now sat me down and explained that these same you people who are voicing out and speaking about the ills of the government, when you leave this place, another batch of people will come in the name of actor, in the name of actress, in the name of whatever association and group and say, leave those ones. So, Susan,
So we need to involve
let
ourselves.
them be shouting. Now them not see good way when they do. That there is a strong disparity between the government and the people. The citizens don't care about what they do. That he has been here and never have they seen citizens come to report any commissioner or any house of rep and all that. And at that point, I raised, in fact, that lady was still Indomie, Tifia was still Indomie,
we saw her
was
there.
sitting beside me. I didn't recognize her. She don't put out that put face cap. Desmond Elliott was there. That was the day I removed Desmond's cap. And the speaker was asking me that, do you know this lady sitting beside you? I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know her. And truly, I don't know her. She said, look at her. He said, look at her very well. I looked at the woman back and forth. Susan was there with me. We looked at the woman. Well, we not recognize her. So this is the same woman you people are bullying, trolling, cursing, and
About Indomie.
attacking on social media that she stole Indomie. Now you be one energy can rise. You know, saying when I hear politics, energy go rise. They said, don't touch her. The people who brought her here saw all of those things. Confirmed that she stole Indomie, Abi. You people saw her pictures on the Indomie. Have they come to report her that we should recall her? Have they gone to any police station to report her that she's misrepresenting
We
us?
should involve ourselves.
That we should go and involve ourselves.
Now, this
And I said, oh yeah, me, I'm here. They said, no, you are not a constituency member, number one. Number two, and regardless of the fact that they have heard about it, if anybody does not come up, they cannot tell her to go because when you send her home, they will now come back and say, you people want to steal money. Nobody is representing her. That's why you sent Ikosi Jaye to go home. You see how sensitive the whole thing has become.
You see something. You see why I said when we're talking about politics,
you have to get involved.
You have to get
See,
your
what-
voice,
you see
your
what I said?
contribution,
When
your
we're talking
presence.
about politics, we need to get involved. We need to build bridges. We need to build contacts. You understand me? And we need to speak.
Absolutely.
And when we speak, we need to speak fairly.
Fairly, yes.
Now, I usually will probably not mention him, but even if he gets to watch this, Mr. Idris Olonimbe, I spoke with him one day. I said one of the undoings of our government is to think that terrestrial media,
Same Idris Olorun
Bembe.
Nibe.
that terrestrial media is what is needed in this generation to dispatch information.
They said no, you know the speaker said something. He said that, but they always put all those things on newspaper. I said these Gen Zs, do they look like people like read newspaper?
read.
Take the news to where they are.
Nigerians don't
Go
read.
and pay the blogs and post your information. They will grab it.
They don't read.
Up to date.
They put something for a
Put your story as a gist. They will follow up and say, okay, government is doing it. They are calling us. So who will go here? Say government. They call them. Say opportunity. They don't go come.
I said government don't budget for marketing.
They tell you they don't have money,
Yes.
but they have money for campaign.
Of course.
See, I said
It's as bad as that.
No, I
They
said
have
government
trillions
don't
for
budget for
campaign.
market. See, this thing that I'm saying, if Governor Sanwo-Olu is here, I will say it in his presence.
Without fear.
If Governor Akeredolu is the governor of my
Without
state is here,
fear.
I will say it in his presence.
If Baba Abiodun,
if Baba is here, if Baba
I will
is
say
here,
it.
I will say it in his presence. You know what? Some of our colleagues, they are the worst enemy of this nation.
True that.
Because
During
they see
Jonathan's
the
regime,
truth, but they ignore it.
They won't say
during
it.
Jonathan's
They want
regime,
to collect some
Ali
small-
Baba raised an issue with Jonathan to fight piracy. Piracy. I'm saying it here. Ali Baba raised the issue of piracy with Jonathan. Some of the veterans in this industry went back to meet Jonathan and said, what we need is money.
I see. I've experienced it, so I know what you're saying.
When the people who are of my generation who are supposed to listen to some, because I always tell them something, when we are all shouting, we don't learn and we don't even communicate.
Yes.
But if we can allow one person to speak and we listen, and we allow another person to speak and we listen, we
That's
can
correct.
harmonize ideas
Ideas.
and we can push it
Take it to
forward.
the board
Correct.
You understand me?
and have a
But
negotiation.
in the advent of all of us trying to express our anger, we will only make noise.
Noise.
Absolutely.
Noise maker. So at the point when you're supposed to be making points, you're
So
making noise.
points, you are making noise, and your noise is irritating.
True.
Nobody will listen. So what exactly?
But the LP noise wasn't
as-
irritating.
just as
It
I
became
don't
an
keep quiet
energy.
for you to talk.
Hold on. The LP people, they've made noise. A few have communicated.
True.
Because some things have changed.
Obviously.
See,
Some things
who
have
are the
changed.
few that have communicated? Who are those making noise? This is where we need to come and harmonize ideas. Whether you like it or not, you might not like an Asiwaju. The moment he's sworn in as your president, he becomes your president.
But even when
If
I
your
now did a video that
You
these
will
are
hang.
these are our
You
problems,
hang- you
so
hang the
they will still
portrait.
abuse you and say,
Now-
Madam, shut
now-
up, you are
now-
looking for appointment.
You
Now-
go see hang portrait.
Now, if we don't harmonize our idea,
True, LP go see hang portrait,
You go
PDP
hang
go
the
hang
portrait.
portrait, AC
if we
go
don't
hang
harmonize
Abga go
our
hang
idea,
portrait.
if we don't harmonize our idea, another 8 years will go by. Now, another thing we need to understand, like I always tell people, most especially the younger ones, we need to understand something. Everybody that is talking, no matter how foolish, there might be wisdom there.
True.
That is why even Peter Obi will say the person that helped him to arrest some people was a madman in a Upper Iweka. The madman must have sounded foolish to a lot of people.
But made sense
he
to him.
picked some ideas from that man.
Ọ̀rọ̀ tọ́lọ́gbọ́n bá sọ, Yorùbá yẹn àgbà, wọ́n ní ẹnu àṣírí láti.
Now, Seyi law
We learned a lot.
might be foolish to all of
I
you.
learned a lot today as well.
Seyi law might be
Are
foolish
you
to
sure
all
you
of
guys
you.
did?
I
You were
did.
shooting Shehi. You were
No,
listening to him.
no,
but we
where
need
is
I
to
was
clear the air.
listening. I was
We needed to
listening.
clear
See,
the air.
yeah, they needed to clear the air on something.
We needed to clear the
I
air.
might be foolish to all of you. I might be stupid to all of you. Don't look at me.
But you're not stupid.
What you saying?
Don't look at my stupidity. Try to listen to some of the things that I'm saying. Don't crucify the messenger. Listen to the message.
Ọ̀rọ̀.
See, if this country is, as long as yeah, the same APC that has brought us to this place, you are saying you are supporting Tinubu. This one,
God
this
punish
country
your
cannot,
father.
this country cannot move
If you know
forward.
you are supporting Tinubu, normally, hey, please.
They are paternal granddad.
Normally, not supposed better for you. That's Islam.
You understand? If you are saying that, this country no feel better, see this one, they pray, say me Tinubu turn no good. I want a good. Papa, you don't forget, say that this same Nigeria you and I dey.
And some people are making
Some
it.
of the people where they swear for me, they my DM, they send account number.
Yes. So.
Now we need to understand something. See, like I said, the criticism of leadership does not equate denigrating, is not worth denigrating your nation for. It is not worth it. And you see, the way you are an entity. You can speak. I can speak. You can speak.
Everybody
You
has
can speak.
something to
Everybody
say.
can speak. Everybody has something
to say.
But the truth is, if our words
Are not the same.
are not the same, or if our words do not align with the politics of our land, you understand?
We're just
there will be mere
dreaming.
noise.
Shay, we might have to have 3 or 4 episodes with you because you see why I brush a lot. You see why we call it Real Talk with Justadetoun. You need to learn something. Regardless of how agitated I am always off with the government, I have learned something. He has his reason. You have your reason. I have my reason. INEC official that has not been paid yet. They say they owe you 11,000. You do work for INEC, they won't beat you, they never pay you. Solo is here, he has a reason. So thank you very much. Shay, I have just one question for you. You've actually answered that question, but I need you to be able to share from your blessing, your strength. A lot of people have been bullied on social media, they've been trolled, you have been physically accosted, and then you still walk freely on the street. So Susan, what do you have to say to people who they've threatened and they can't even afford to step out of their house, or they feel like they've drawn back to their shells and it's difficult for them to even go back to their normal life? Because a lot of people have not been able to go back to normalcy after this election. What do you have to say?
Like we said earlier in the course of the discussion, everybody has a free will. So when you understand that there's no right hand for your forehead, right? They have the free will to write whatever they want to write. And you have the free will to want to ignore
If
or
you want to
allow it
allow it
to
to sink in.
and disturb you. For me, it's not written on my forehead. It doesn't put
If
food
they
on
say
my
they beat you
table.
that, they waiting for happen.
They for no feet now.
You for just shop
They for
beating.
sure then say, me, man, I be government picking.
Hey, wait.
tell
I
you.
remember just for another day when they seized your vehicle.
I for sure them say, you see, they go see tipper of army.
Persons.
You be
For example,
portable with that.
But anyway, that one is
Zazu.
that one is for another. It's for another.
Shay, what do you have to tell people who have
you
gone
are.
through same? What do you have to tell people who have gone through same and couldn't pull out? They still feel demoralized. They still feel like they've lost their strength. Now you've told them that the bullying and the trolls, unfortunately for you people, has become an energy for him and has given him a wake-up call to continue to talk about the same, because he spoke about it some 16 years ago, spoke about it 8 years ago, and he's still talking about it 8 years now. And by the grace of God, we don't pray if all of us join
No, I don't
our
pray we
strength
talk
together.
about this.
We don't pray that we should talk about this again in another 8 years. Keep the disparity. LP, PDP, APC, ABGA, CCC, PPP, everybody put that aside. The game has been played. Now there's a turntable we all need to walk around with? What is the way forward? I didn't have a candidate. I told you people already that I don't support my papa at old age. Go do. But if he feels he is the savior, he convinced himself and say, I can do it and I will do it. So it's left to him. Ksolo, Seyi, what do you have to tell our younger generation, our people who don't have the same strength and tenacity like we have?
Okay, this is what I'm going to say. And I'm going to use the SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis, strength,
okay,
weakness,
opportunity,
and threats. Now,
strength, repeat again. I know go strength,
weakness,
opportunity,
and threats.
Did somebody get that? Go ahead.
And you need to understand that the threats of the people capitalize on your weakness to issue their threats, which is why they will always capitalize on my daughter and my career
to think they want to get you down
me.
And think that some people will not give you jobs.
Will affect me. And now, this is what I do. I have understood their tactics. And so I have learned to suppress my weakness. So that their threats amount to nothing. And I capitalize on my strength while I visualize the opportunities that it can give me.
Well done. That's the spirit. That's the spirit.
Ksolo, what do you have to tell people who have been wrongly accused of hitting their wives, maltreating women, changing the narrative? She invested in you, she made you, she did everything. And a lot of people are still going through that, and they always look for every opportunity to want to explain themselves, defend themselves, speak for themselves. What do you have to tell this generation?
I think there's so much to say about this, but a lot of what we're supposed to do was shifted more to the
once politics comes into anything, it takes over.
It gets the politics part of it, and I think I don't want to say so much about it. I think that part will still be addressed some other time on this show. Then I can tell a lot of people what went down, so we can share heart-to-heart conversations, and you can understand what actually went down and what you need to pick.
But people are basically not interested in what went down. They basically want to how you have been able to come out of it. Listen, some people have not been able to come out of it, or they call you woman beater. They don't ruin your career. Multinationals will withdraw. You will lose a lot of things. So is that the reason why Ksolo stopped doing music?
Ksolo didn't stop doing music.
Okay, because now you are more of a tech person.
No, Ksolo didn't stop doing music. You need to understand the word evolves. It's the same thing that is attributed to who is a comedian you see on Instagram every day doing videos. Normally, you always expect to have a show and be on the stage. Music switches. So the people who are actually doing music that you think that are actually doing music are people that probably have maybe one godfather putting money and put them in your face. And at the end of the day, the ones you're seeing again are still the people we put to the front of limelight. Now, for the part of of what I went through, and I actually will give a word to anybody, is this. I think when it is not working, it pays for you to bow out. You do not have a
when your relationship is working, you have no reason to be stick.
Yes, when it's not working, you bow out. A lot of us kept ourselves in it because we wanted to keep a clean name.
You don't value yourself.
A clean name. We just want to have that. We want to be flawless. And you're dying in it. And you don't want to talk.
True. If I had stayed in my first marriage, a lot of you people who know Justadetoun today would not have the opportunity to see me, to know me, to hear about my name, because I would have just, by myself, and I would have been long gone. And I will end up going to hell because I didn't fulfill my mission on earth. What do I have to say? I've been trolled, I've been bashed, I've been attacked.
People actually need to actually know what you've been through at the past, because
nobody can tell my story.
That's what I'm saying. People need to know some few part of it.
If somebody sits down and writes a story about me, and I'm not there, is it autobiography you write? I've been a biography.
No, I mean you need to share some light to us.
But all of you should know me. I'm not somebody who talk. See, let me tell you something. You need to define Justadetoun and Adetoun. And I remember the night JJ.
Can I pause you a minute?
JJ,
Can I pause you a minute? Don't forget what you're saying. Now, this is part of the reasons I always say something about celebrities. They all see you in the glams, but a whole lot that goes behind the scenes. That you guys don't say it. So do you see this Gen Z?
We will talk about it.
I want to be like this auntie. I want to be like this uncle.
Sometimes when you're saying all this, it's like you're trying to create an impression, or you're trying to cover a story, or you're trying to change the narrative. When you don't tell
them, they feel like
they will learn. Listen, they will learn. See, I remember the night there was a publication, and then the first thing that I got was a call from DSS. And then when they talked, my ex now called me and said, Toun, My mother said I should call you that. They have updated your bio, your mother's name, your father's dead name, your sister, everything done dead. Yes. You know what JJ called me? JJ now called me out of the blues. And JJ Mojua said, your name is Justadetoun. I put a just on that name because what I do, it takes heaven to do it. When I talk, it takes the grace of God and Holy Spirit, the grace of Holy Spirit to be able to do it. And you walk freely on the street, you sleep and all of that. Now, Seyi has said this, Susan has said this, Ksolo has given his piece of advice. You see what I'm going to advise people, that's the reason why we're running this show. We've talked to everybody, has tried to air their opinion and how they feel and all of that. The most important thing today that I'm going to tell you is keep being you. Over time, people will come around one day and accept you for who you are. If anybody could not bring you down in this 2023 election that went by, how you were trolled and bullied, I've experienced it. People have sat down to help me write my story. People have sat down to help me change the narrative of my story. But me, we get story. I still they carry my story. Now, like say I won't go sell them for Tyler Perry. Because by the time I contact Tyler Perry, that I'm gonna tell you some things you need to know about me and why you need to be as strong as I am and open as I am. You will understand that Tyler Perry gonna sell his mansion and pay me off. Oprah is gonna sell a mansion and pay me off because I'm beginning to feel like I don't deserve Nigeria. But unfortunately, I so love this country. I'm beginning to feel like my story don't deserve to be told on the streets of Nigerian social media, but I'll still tell it because I don't need anybody to me. Look at when I came out and talked about Jando. People were telling me, I'm not always in a haste though. People are telling me, why now? During International Women's Day, I remember one of the rights of a woman is talk when you need to talk, be quiet when you need to be quiet, say it when you need to say it, gather your strength to be able to flow when you need to flow because all you need to do, you need energy and you need conviction that you've done the right thing to yourself. So on this note, we're going to be capping it up. Those of you that troll people on social media and those of you that bully people on social media, you're doing two things. Continue doing what you're doing. You're doing well because you're giving somebody an energy to thrive and to survive and to discover himself the more and to show his commitment to his beloved country. And you're also making it confident. You're also making another woman confident that even if you hit me and you touch me, at that time I go no say I get person. And as they always say, person will get person, he better pass person will get money because if you give sensation, money go money fail le kore madu now. Money fail le kore madu. E kore madu get money, you no get person. You get money, you not can get person. So you see me, I'm going to tell you trolls, jabitas, tapais, continue. You see, for people like us, whatever you say about us can stop our feed for today, but it's not going to quench our strength or our spirit because we already grew up knowing that our parents failed us. And we are trying everything humanly possible not to fail Tiwa, not to fail Ashabi, not to fail your son.
Yes.
So we don't want to fail our generation. That's the reason why. And unfortunately, when one voice was talking, one voice was chasing clout. But when the whole nation was talking, it became a movement. Please, LP people, keep talking. You have become the opposition, the agitation, the reason why our politicians need to go back and check and understand that all is not well with what they have been doing and all needs to be well because right now, this generation is woke. On this note, we cap it up on Talk with Justadetoun. Don't go anywhere. Watch out for this episode. It's going to be 3 different episodes because we spoke about a lot of things. Till I come your way some other time, I wanted to say I remain Seyi Law. As in,
yeah, you can share. You can share it.
I wanted to say I remain. Okay, now, so if you want to address me on a norm, call me Adetoun. If you want to address me on the word, you want me to para, you want me to vex, call me Justadetoun. Sign out, people.
And what do they call you, Yashabi?
Yashabi.
That's where they want to get money from you.
That's where they want to collect.
They want to get something from you.
And when you call me Jagaban, that's baby food. When they are looking for freebies, Mamaology, that's when they call me. So I have different names that work differently. But anytime I'm on babyology mood, I'm on work mood activated. A lot of you don't even know I am a certified, qualified, most experienced pediatric nutrition consultant Nigeria has ever produced. I say I praise myself.
Okay, Nigerians, my name is Ksolo and keep watch.
You know, allow me finish.
All right, my name is Seyi Law, BCFR.
You know, allow me.
GCFR.
Shegbo, you don't hear them before. Hey, if you know upgrade
That's
yourself.
what's
They are not
up.
going to upgrade you.
That's
The
what's up.
Asiwaju of Naija comedy.
That's
The
what's up.
Jagaban
I
of
swear
comedy
to
worldwide.
God.
Yes.
Jagaban of
My
comedy
name is
worldwide.
Susan Peters. I'm an Hollywood actor, producer. In fact, I'm a multifaceted woman.
Oh shit.
Hey.
I'm a chef.
Oh, shit.
I'm an interior
Kuku
decorator.
tó ń gbọ́, kuku.
I'm a wardrobe organizer.
Oh, shit.
I own a boutique and a saloon.
Okay.
In fact, I also own Suris Construction. So don't play.
See,
Don't
you see,
play.
the problem I have with
That's what's
Susan
up.
is everything Susan has just said
Don't
now
play.
is rubbish. Except she can say it in that her language. Ha! That your language, oh yeah.
Yes,
Speak
so-
clear.
I don't grow for
Honor,
village.
honor.
Ine you clock pema. And you know what you come out. Ine you clock pema. You clock pema na Latini. Ine ya
Oh shit.
everywhere and anywhere.
Oh shit! On this note, we say peace out.